talked a little bit about, you know, it being difficult to manage the delivery and the logistics, you know, at the end of the process. But I just very happily taken delivery of my electric bike that I ordered in, it's either March or April. And literally, it's made in Malaysia, I think, and they literally couldn't get a cargo ship. Perhaps they couldn't get the parts, and then they couldn't get the completed bike on a ship, and it just took months for it to come for that reason. How's that going to impact on retailers' ability to survive? Will, you know, will the big boys, so to speak, be so much better set up that everyone else is going to be at a disadvantage, or are we going to be sort of sourcing more things locally?
We do have a problem at the moment with supply getting into the UK. There is congestion at the ports, containers are in the wrong place, and container costs are dramatically rising. That has not quite so much to do, I don't think, with COVID and Brexit as Felix Stowe would like to tell you. I think it's got quite a lot to do with the fact they just mismanaged it, quite frankly. And of course, there's a ripple effect then onto our two other deep water ports, which is Southampton and Tilbury. And then when you add some of the delays on in terms of which we will get in terms of Brexit, and we'll probably come on to that coming forward, then there are empty containers in the wrong places, and then you've got Chinese New Year. So I don't think that the supply chain challenges are going to unwind much before about April or May. But that's about getting product in the box across it. And what I think is slightly odd about this COVID period when we look back was, you know, if we were sitting here sort of February, March time and having this conversation, we're saying, look, we've probably got a supply problem here. It swiftly moved into a demand problem, didn't it? I think at the back end of this, there's going to be a period where we've got a supply problem as well.
There's almost, you know, coming into this year, the unpredictability of 2021 is, what do you do with some of those lines? I mean, you'd hate to be a retail buyer, I think, at the moment, you know, because there's so much pressure on you. Do I buy any more face masks, you know, or is that going to just kind of go in 2021, or is that going to be a big seller? You know, are people going to start getting married again and having big functions? Because there must be a big backlog of that. You know, surely you must have somewhere near twice the amount of people trying to get married in 2021 as there would have been in a normal year. So are we suddenly going to sell loads of stuff that would be associated with a wedding? Is that going to be high demand?
A lot of the retailers that we've been talking to have not only bought slightly more stock to try and cater for this uncertain demand, also issues around Brexit, but there's also a lot of retailers out there, particularly for sort of spring, summer, who've got a huge amount of stock left over from last year, right, that they couldn't shift online, that was all was inappropriate, so occasion wear or whatever. So I think spring, summer 2020 might also, from a fashion point of view, in certain retailers, might also be spring, summer 21, because they'll be just going, right, we've got all this stuff in the warehouse, we're going to get it out. So I think that we will see a bit of that as well. But it's, I think, planning the demand and planning the supply, it's going to be tricky.